Watch Blade
Watch
Runner.
Blade Runner. And then,
So here's something we can talk. So the Everybody Lives. Have you been watching any of it? The most recent season?
no, I'm being bad. I don't have Netflix right now. I lost all my access to it.
Yeah, I'm only watching the monologues that they upload to the YouTube. But what's interesting is like, this is maybe a larger conversation about stand-up in and of itself, but it's like at a certain level, you were saying something to me about, I think it was like on Pete Holmes' show where he's like, before you have an audience that likes you, crowds are only going to laugh at 10 out of 10 jokes. And then once they like you, they'll laugh as hard, but at a 6 out of 10 joke, you know? And so at certain level, comics, certainly people on Mulaney's level, you're just used to only ever seeing them kill. Everything that they will upload, everything that is online, everything that is publicly available, they're just gonna murder, you know, because, and yes, certainly in his case, oftentimes it is deserved, but it's something that I don't think we realize, especially as aspiring comedians who never have that type of crowd. It's like, it's like you kind of take for granted. It's like, well, they're so much better. Like, you know, it's easy for them. But then you look at like something like Everybody's Live, I think very well written. Clearly, he writes these every week himself, and they're very tight, and they're usually like storytelling things. So they're less about like just bit, but they're like still very funny. There's a lot of parts in it that people aren't laughing. It's clearly not like a warmed up room, you know? And I wonder whether it's a thing that they're just, because they have to do it every week, they're not necessarily getting Mulaney fans. I mean, he's big enough that he could, but like maybe just getting people off the street to watch like a weird late night show, you know?
Right. But it's live too.
But it's live. That's the other thing, is that
None of these are live anymore. None of these are live anymore.
They don't have a chance to retake them or warm them up. So I think that it is interesting because it's like he's getting a much more muted reaction to what I think is as good material. But it's like the first time I've seen, I wouldn't say he bombs in any of them. He still like kills. But it's like the most like subdued crowd I've seen for a Mulaney material like in a long time.
That's pretty funny. Dude, I don't know, but that's the thing about late night. It's like you either do jokes about stuff that happened the week, but it's not material you tour around the country with. It's like, that's why I always struggle when we did late night live. It's like, what am I going to do a monologue about? Like, I either do my act or I do pour up top. Like, what do I do? You just get Patty out there and do some bad jokes about the news, and then you start with the band and the guests. Like, because it's like, I know you have to do it. In a way, you don't. But, like, do you remember Seth Meyers would be, like, standing up doing his monologue?
Yeah, and then he sat down,
It's like, put him in the desk. What are we doing? Just do, you perfected Weekend Update. Go sit down. Like, you're really much better in that zone.
Yeah. It was one of those things that always makes me laugh whenever I'm at an open mic and there's something in the news that happened and a guy goes up and does 5 minutes of terrible jokes about whatever, like, news story it is. And it's like, this can't go in the act because like this doesn't mean anything. But then also, is it just to talk? Are you just trying to hang? Like, is this like conversation?
Yeah.
Are you workshopping your Colbert packet? Is like, do you have, because there's no way that's what's happening for you.
It's a ridiculous thing to do. I mean, like, practice crowd work more than just talk about like Roseanne Barr or something. You know, it better be a good bit. I mean, that's what they say about Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony Hinchcliffe like goes on tour last year and he has like jokes about the submarine exploding. It's like, dude, you can't be doing jokes about the submarine exploding. You can't be. I mean, Mulaney does jokes about his life. Like, that's his stand-up is about him. Because it's evergreen. You can't take that away from him. He's not going on the road being like, I mean, like, even Joe Rogan, like, even Shane Gillis is like, oh, well, Trump. It's like, dude, nobody wants to hear jokes about Trump and Biden. Yeah. Nobody wants to hear that. Tell us about your weird dad. That's why we like you. Like, tell us about your family. Joe Rogan reveals nothing about his family. We know nothing about Joe Rogan's wife and daughter. Bert Kreischer's the opposite side of the spectrum. He reveals too much, and they get upset with him that he reveals too much. But I do think it's like, I mean, the late night monologue is defeated by the internet. You can't, there's nothing there. Conan did a good job, but Conan is a character. He's a different person.
That's why, and I think that's why, like, Mulaney's Everybody Live is good, because, like, they're not commenting on the news. It's just him, like, telling a weird story about what happened that week, you know? And, like, it makes sense as to why Conan was Mulaney's guy. He was like, I was in college, like, wanting to be a writer for Conan, because it's like, he's the weird guy. It doesn't matter if you're doing, like, stuff like about the current conversation, because even if you are, it's like you're just gonna have the weirdest possible take on it, which is much more of a valuable perspective to have when, like, Twitter has already, like, had every possible normie joke on it within the first hour, you know?
Right. And Conan also knew how to pull people together. I don't know who writes for Everybody's Live. I looked it up, and it's like people that, like, some of them are famous, some of them aren't. But, like, Conan had this guy, Tommy Blacha, who, like, he did, like, the weirdest Attitude Era WWE and WCW wrestling plot lines, and Conan just made this guy one of his writers. Like,
yeah.
He's a guy who developed professional wrestling plot lines, and now you're writing for late. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you gotta, like, have the good team behind you, and I think Mulaney knows how to.
That was a thing. Colbert, when he was doing Colbert Report, there was an article. There was like a review about a show Steve Carell was in that was so hilariously bad. Like, he just panned Steve Carell so badly. He like printed it out and gave it to Steve Carell when they were like castmates or something, and then he hired the writer of that review on like the Colbert Report as a writer. Because he was that's really funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because he was Carell's understudy for years? Or was it the opposite?
Yeah. He was the understudy.
I love this stuff. I love these little stories. They're hilarious. All right, man. We can stop recording the podcast now. I don't know how I'm going to edit this. I don't know where I'm going to cut it.